Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of Slice TV. I'm here with Latasha from Latasha's Kitchen and we're going to be talking about products that are getting sent to Asia from Australia. Now Latasha, tell me a little bit about Latasha's Kitchen and how it came about.
This really came about in this kitchen here as we are standing here many years ago. I was really keen in cooking in large quantities, and I hassled my husband about opening a cafe. I was in a good job and he was not keen for me to do it, but it was for many years that I kept at it, and then he could see that it was something that was very intrinsic to the nature of who I was and who I was going to be. And finally, one year, he gave me his blessings. Actually, he gave me his blessings after I quit my job and told him. And then he said, right, let's do it. And I opened a little cafe, and I imagined the cafe being a hole in the wall just down from where we live in Leederville, and just cooking my heart out morning till afternoon, and closing up the shop at 4 o'clock, coming home in time to be a mother and wife again. Things didn't go quite exactly to plan. I ended up getting a restaurant right in the heart of Leederville, and it was a restaurant that I had to open lunch and dinner. And 10 years down the track, I was very happy with what we did, and it was a successful restaurant, and it was time for me to do something else.
So from a restaurant, how do we now have this product range that you have and how do we get to Australia exporting curry paste to Asia?
When I opened the restaurant, my whole theme about it was cooking home style, was cooking the type of food that I grew up with. And the Indian restaurants in Perth at that time were not selling the food that I grew up with. It was all very much butter chicken and madras this and tikka that. And I really wanted to introduce people to the food that we grew up. Honest food, simple food, and food cooked with lots of love and lots of attention and lots of good ingredients. And good ingredients doesn't mean expensive ingredients. It could be simple ingredients grown in your backyard. And that's what I cooked. So some of the things I cooked was banana blossom, and people hadn't heard of it.
I've never heard of banana blossom.
Yes,
no.
and it's actually just the banana flour, but it's a lot of preparation. You won't see many restaurants doing it. But that was my love, and that's what I cooked. And what I found is that the people who were coming were actually a lot of people who have traveled, a lot of others who are like me, coming from Asia, coming here and wanting food that they remember. And so our little restaurant was, I wouldn't even call it a restaurant, it was a cafe. It was a small cafe, but it was in the heart of Leederville, and I just had a daily revolving menu. I didn't have a menu up on the wall. I didn't have printed menus. I just wrote it on the blackboard, and I stuck it as well, a print copy on the door, so they knew what to expect. We were so busy, and I was just cooking all the time. From that experience, from the first 5 years of that experience, what came out of it is customers were asking me to bring out a cookbook. They wanted me to teach them how to do these curries. What I found out of that is none of my curries were written down. I was cooking it from memory. I was cooking it from the heart. And I was cooking and making up dishes on the phone with mom, on the phone with my aunts or my sister or my brother, and trying to recall, certain recipes because nothing was written. And it was the days before, the YouTube and the recipes that are being shared so much now. We didn't have such luxury. I had handwritten notes on sticky papers here and there, and that's how I cooked. But after a while, I had all this repertoire in my head, and I could just cook, and I loved it. And what we found is people were asking for the recipe book, and I decided to teach. I thought that would be a way to encourage me, to discipline me to write it all down. So I turned around the cafe in 2008 to a small cooking school setup, and I started teaching. But out of that, and I've learned to listen to the customers over the years, out of that what transpired is they're like, this is all great, but by the time we shop for all these ingredients, by the time we dice it up and prep it up, we're so tired. We're not going to make this very often, but we want to eat curry at least once a week, twice a week. So why don't you bottle it up? And I just laughed at them. I'm like, you wanted me to teach, you wanted, recipes. I'm not bottling these things up. They're just, another spectrum. I'd have no idea where to start. I had someone who was working for me at that time, and she used to make lots of jams, and she encouraged me too. And her name is Sue Goodland, and she said, Latasha, we could do this, I could, I'm sure it's not that much difference. And I'm like, no. But we had one customer who was adamant. He's like, my son's turning 4, I've got 40 people coming, I want to have your beef curry, make me something, make me a paste that I can buy and cook at home, because that's what I'd like to do. So he encouraged me, and I made up a curry paste for him, a home-style curry paste, and he cooked it, and he came back and said, you do really well with this. I really think you should. And his name is Anton D'Souza. I give him full credit for my path down this journey, because without him, I wouldn't have had that feel, that gut feel, and I always have this gut feel. And I decided one day, Sue and I started, playing around the kitchen. And as I was making the curry for the restaurant, I made extra and I started bottling it up. I had no idea. What I was doing. So I thought I'll just bottle it up to sell in my shop to my customers. And that's how it started. And that's where the love grew, because I then saw another side of it. As customers started purchasing this at the end of the class, they would tell their friends, and I'd find people coming into the shop, not to eat anymore the way they used to come in, to eat. They used to come in and they used to look around, and I'd ask them, can I help you? And they're like, we're looking for this paste. A friend said, they bought some paste. Where is it? That sort of thing. So from one curry paste, I ended up with 5, I ended up with 10, and at the peak, I had about 50 different curry pastes. And it wasn't just curry paste, it was condiments, it was people would bring me kumquat. My neighbor would give me kumquat. Another friend would give me beautiful lemon limes, and I'd make jams, I'd make preserves, I'd make pickles and achars. Everything I could get my hand on, every little free time, not that we had any, went into making, and we didn't make a lot. But soon we found some of our customers were bringing eskies to buy our products because their neighbor and their friend that they'd shared it with. And they all told me, you should bottle this up. And I thought, well, the lease is coming to an end. Leaderville is expensive. I was looking to just retire out of the whole picture, because I just really wanted to do this for 5-10 years. That was my initial thought. But we spoke about it, my husband Anand and I, and we thought maybe we should give this a go and see where it goes. So we looked about renovating our backyard. We had architects in to make that into a commercial cooking school area. We had another kitchen area where I could make all these jars and then I'd sell it at weekend markets. So that was the plan around to 2010. Unfortunately, he got quite ill in 2010, and I decided I don't want to put everything into here and manage everything in case he needs me more. And I had a young daughter. At that time too, and so we decided that we'd look for a contract kitchen. And my journey into looking for a contract kitchen in Perth at that time was not easy, because I wanted a kitchen that would help me make it and not reformulate my recipes, my paste. Make it so that when you open the jar, you felt like you made it yourself. I wanted to capture that essence in the jar. And there weren't a kitchen as such. I even approached others who make their own brand products to see if they had downtime and I could do products, in there. None of that worked, and, for many reasons, mainly because I didn't want to reformulate it, and also because I wanted to make it myself. So with some help, I found a couple of boutique kitchens all over Australia, and I approached a couple of them to see if, I could make it the way I wanted to. And the company that I first approached, and we ended up talking 4 hours on the phone, is still the company I use to this date. I love them to bits. They love me, and we have a great relationship. I fly across to Sydney. They know how pedantic I am. If I'm not happy, they're not happy. So they work very closely with me, and that's how we've got what we have now. And, I'm trying to stop the urge of growing the range, because I am that sort of person. I just keep keep creating. But at this stage, I'm quite happy with the range I have, and it allows me to export, as you said, to Asia. And the reason for that is we use so much of ingredients from Australia, and it's the regulations and the health requirements that we cook under is very, very high. And Asia realizes that things that are made in Australia are considered a premium. And so we have no problems in having our products accepted by lots of people from Asia. In fact, when we do farmers markets, when we do events, we have tourists, we are sending things to Alaska, we are sending things to Florida, to LA, and we are sending things, to Singapore, we're sending to, I can't remember, there's a number of countries in Europe that we send to. And it's sometimes to do with the fact that locals buy it for their loved ones or their friends over there, and once they get hooked on it, they know, what it is. I have one lady in UK, she's the mother of a customer here that did a cooking class, and she buys 6 rendang every time. And so if he can't find the rendang, he will be on the phone with me, and he'll be asking me, where can I get the rendang? I need to send mom 6, because mom loves this rendang. She lived in Kuching in Sarawak for many years, and she knows a good rendang when she, tastes it. My rendang is a dry one. It's not a gravy one. So she's got a particular liking. And so I think as long as we stay true to the core of the product, we will appeal to people from anywhere who knows what a good curry paste or a good condiment should taste like. There's no artificial ingredients in our products. They're all fresh. There's no color. It's celiac endorsed, so people with all sorts of gut issues and Crohn's disease can have it safely. So all of that encapsulates to the reason why I think our products are very well accepted as a high-end product, but a good quality product.
So you mentioned with Asia and probably anywhere in the world, they appreciate the Australian agricultural conditions. They think the quality is going to be good coming from Australia. Is that what you found?
That's right, absolutely. I mean, they do look at the ingredients to see that it is Australian ingredients, that it is grown here, that it's not packed up here and added with water or coconut milk and calling it an Australian product. We have got a made in Australia label. We are licensed by Australian Made campaign. We are also licensed by Celiac, and all of that plays a big part in the acceptance that it's a good and honest product. There's no nasties in them. We by the very nature of our product, they are very vegetarian friendly, so that makes it quite easy for people to use it in many ways. We have got a number of the relishes and all are vegan, so we sort of, broadly speaking, anyone can find something there to suit them, and that's what I like. Everyone's different. And
so what have we got set up here, Latasha? What are you going to demonstrate here for me with all these bits of coconut and fresh vegetables and egg?
Yes, well, this was to just show that we have something here for anyone. We've got salads here. We've got boiled chickpeas made into a salad. We've got some cream cheese, some cottage cheese and feta, and we've got some hummus. And there's some bread, or you can have it with crackers. So the idea is that we appeal for people who like our relishes or condiments. It makes a quick, easy picnic. People who prefer something light could have one of our dressings with that, or some condiments on it. We've got a hot pan here.
So what would you like to demonstrate here for me?
Well, this was to just show that some of the things that go into some of our products, for example, this is curry leaves here, and this is some
Let me show that. What do we got here?
We've got curry leaves and we've got some coriander leaves, coriander seeds, and we have some
black peppers there.
Yeah. And we've got a range of whole chilies. There's cinnamon, there's nutmeg, there's cardamom and cloves. This was really to just demonstrate that there's all these ingredients from bay leaves as well, mustard seeds, that goes into making a garam masala, for example.
A what, sorry?
A garam masala is just a hot spice mix. It's been toasted up, and something like this is actually in each of our curry paste, but it's sort of skewed to the nature of what the curry paste is. So the home style curry paste would have, you know, a specific garam masala mix. Garam means hot and masala means mix. So it's just a hot mix. Not it's in hot chili, but hot toasted. So we toast this, and something like this is essential in making a good curry. And I have different blends of these going into each of our curries. So I just wanted to show that.
So that's toasting there at the moment, is it?
Yes, it toasts, and then you put it into a blender, a spice blender.
And this is what you would have showed people to do in your class.
That's right. This was one of the quick little things that I'd show right at the beginning.
No wonder they went, oh my God, I'm not going to do this every night I come home.
Well, a lot of them do this on their own now. And, you know, this needs to be just cracked up. And so you just toast it, and then you'll find that the essential oils come out.
Oh,
and then
smell on television at the moment. That smells beautiful, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yes. And you can actually toast that and grind it up when it's a bit cooler and keep it in a glass jar, and you can add it to your curry. So just wanted to quickly demonstrate that. But over here, I thought to demonstrate one of our quick sauces. I have a hot pan, and I'm going to add a bit of rice bran oil and let that heat up. And I thought we'd make some vindaloo.
What do we got all over here? What's all these?
These are all just fresh ingredients. So in my Asian range, you know, these are some of the fresh ingredients that go in. We've got turmeric, we've got garlic, we've got galangal, we've got turmeric leaves, we've got ginger bud, we've got lemongrass, fresh chilies. There's just so much fresh ingredients that goes into the making of our products. And this is what I wanted to show, that it's not dry coriander leaves or dry mint leaves that go into our products. They are fresh. You know, we use mint, if we use coriander, they are fresh mint, fresh coriander, fresh spring onions. All of that adds fiber to our products, adds flavor, and it makes people really enjoy the flavor of what's coming out, because it isn't a synthetic feel or taste to the product. So here I've got some vindaloo paste just to show how quickly we can put this together using a paste.
Latasha's Kitchen vindaloo paste. Look, is that a picture of you there? Look
yes, it's a bit dated.
I love it.
Couple of years now. Just watch your camera; it will spit at us.
Okay, I'll stand back a little bit, shall I?
Yes. So I've just put some curry leaves. Now, if a customer so wanted to, they could put a bit of cinnamon in there, and just let that infuse, and then we will put in.
So here's the magic ingredient, is it?
Yeah, so that's about half a jar here. So I'll just put that slowly in. I've got about a kilo of meat. So our products are so concentrated that half a jar would be sufficient for a kilo of meat. So you just put it into the oil and let that melt through. And we want to just give that some heat. This is one of our very, very popular pastes from our cafe days to bottling it up.
Oh, it smells beautiful.
Yes, lots of fans. So we used to do a dish called red pork fry, and red pork fry was really my vindaloo.
Okay.
So we used to use pork belly, and that's what I've got. I've got some Plantagenet pork belly. And that's the other thing. We like to encourage our customers to use, with these products, the best of what they can afford to use in terms of the produce. We support all local farmers. Everything we buy, we, for tasting at our events and so forth, are all bought, with consideration of who we are buying it from. So if I use beef, I use, beef from the local farmers market, Gingin beef. If I use lamb, I use lamb from Dopa Lamb in 2J. So we just enjoy working with other small producers and using good products to marry up with this. So I've got some vinegar here. It was a very big bottle, so I've just put it into a little jar, and that's just Cornwall's white vinegar. And vin for vindaloo or vindaloo, as the traditionalists would say. It's really a pickled dish from the days of the Portuguese coming to Goa and pickling their meat so that it would last their journey.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
There you go.
I never knew that before.
So we're just saucing it up like that.
So as they're travelling around, they'd have all this meat all pickled up, and they could be eating it for...
Yes, it
how
will
long
last.
would it last for them?
Oh, I would say months. The journeys were months. So something like this would be really turned into like a pickled, fruit or vegetables. Same thing, turning it into a pickled meat. It's like a jerky, but with some paste and vinegar. So that was some salt that went in. And for those who really like it hot, all we tell them is, put some extra fresh chilies, or we have some bird's eye chili somewhere. So you could put a few of that. And what happens is the flavor is still there, but you can make it hotter, you can make it milder. To make this milder, you could put some coconut cream. It's not very traditional, but we're talking about what works for families. So you could put some coconut cream inside here, or you could put a little bit of yogurt. Now, we were doing the yogurt. Let's do the yogurt. So
I always need the yogurt to cool it down.
You just cook the yogurt up. Some people would worry that would curdle up, but as you can see, it doesn't, as long as you keep stirring it quickly and mixing it into the sauce. So that's a really good way for families to introduce, vindaloos to their teenagers who might be quite worried that it's, might be quite hot. Minute that
the Aussie kids, but mind you, the Aussie kids are getting quite...
Oh, they're quite adventurous and good, yes.
I like the old school ones.
So that's just heating up now. And would you like to have a quick taste of it?
I'd love to have a taste.
Before I put the meat in?
Or should we get Kate in here to come have a taste?
Oh, I don't know whether Kate will...
You're going to come in and have a taste, Kate?
I'll have to now, I think.
But now that I've dobbed you in?
Okay. Have a quick taste.
Come on in, Kate, we'll say hello. Do you want to introduce yourself, or shall I introduce you?
Be careful, might
Hi,
be quite
this is Kate, who's very normally behind the camera and a bit nervous. Delicious. Thank you.
You need some water, Kate? Alright, so now we've got some Plantagenet pork belly. I've taken off the skin and I've just thinly sliced it up. And we just put that in. Ready, and in you go. And we'll just keep stirring that.
So that's pork belly now you've added in there.
That's right.
This is actually all taking quite quickly now, but I mean,
I
you're
know.
a professional at it, so you make it look easy for us amateurs.
It's actually, if you were doing this from scratch, it's going to take at least a good couple of hours by the time you buy it and wash the ingredients, prep up the onion, the garlic, the ginger, get your masalas together, dice up the meat. Well, in this case, I just really had to dice up the meat. And I didn't even put any onion, garlic, ginger because the paste has got it all. But that's not to say someone couldn't put extra onion, garlic and ginger if they didn't want to, if they wanted to, because it's all about enjoying the process. We really believe that food tastes better when it's cooked, you know, with a good heart, a generous spirit. And so really, we don't tell you not to put it. This is here for those who'd like to cook it quickly and efficiently and still go about their daily work and life. But it's also there for those who are creative cooks, weekend cooks, who want to get something more out of it, and they might still enjoy getting their hands dirty, but it means that you can still put in some extra onion, garlic, ginger, tomatoes. Yes, you can experiment with the flavors and give it a go. So I'm just going to let that cook. In the meantime, another quick one that we could start here.
Yeah.
If this turns on for us. I think I've drawn quite a lot of power. So what I might do is just turn this over here.
So we're just moving over to our little kitchen on this proper kitchen. We have a little setup kitchen.
Here what I thought we'll do, we could add peanut oil, but I'm just adding rice bran. We have got some satay sauce, and this is a really quick and easy way to make satay peanut sauce. So this sauce here would make, this paste here would make 1 liter, 4 cups of sauce. I've used about, a quarter of the jar. And so what I'm going to do is just use a tablespoon in here. And I might throw in a couple of extra chilies just to give it. And all we need for this is some water, coconut milk, peanut paste, and some palm sugar, this one over here, and it will turn into a beautiful sauce. We haven't let that one go away too long, have we? No. This is just going to stir up, grab all the paste into the meat, and then we're going to add some more vinegar, bring it to boil, and simmer it till it's done. So that will just be about 40 minutes for that to cook. And someone could take that, if it was in a pot that they could put into the oven, you could put it into the oven to let it finish. You could even do it in long strips of pork belly. You don't have to cut it up. You could do it with chicken, beef, anything. So while that's heating up, I'm just going to get a bit of water. I'm going to cook very quickly some mushrooms after this. And the mushrooms is really for eggplant kasundi, which is a really good way to make a brunch. Very popular when I make it at shows. See how thin it is, and just don't worry about it because it will come good. We're just warming it, bringing it back to life, and with life I mean the smells, the aroma, because they're quite dormant when they stay in the jar. They're quite cold. So although you can get a good whiff out of it, you get the best aroma once it's heated.
Okay.
So you can see the oil's just coming through, and likewise over here you can start to see the oil and the juices mixing together. And I'll just put a bit more salt for the meat now. And vinegar. So this vindaloo is going to be quite a dry style. I'm not making a very a gravy as such. This meat is cut quite small. Okay, so that has now worked its way into a thick sauce. We'll add some coconut milk. And I love to use a good quality peanut paste, so I've got Pig's peanut paste here. What we do is we don't fill up our paste with peanuts, we fill it up with other, the essential flavors. So although there's peanuts in here, you need to add more peanuts. And as you can see, all our pastes are so thick. They're concentrate. So by that very nature, there's no water left in them. Put that there and let that cook on low heat. Bit of salt and a little bit of palm sugar, small piece. And we'll put some peanut paste, and then you can have a taste. So that's a crunchy peanut paste. So you saw that I only used about a tablespoon heaped of paste, and you can see. To make this hotter, it's not a problem. Just add more of that little bird's eye chili. The flavor will still be there. So if you use the whole jar, you'll get 1 liter. It's very popular when we make this at events and show our customers.
It's an event in itself, watching it all.
Is there a button there to get the smell?
I wish there was.
You see how thick it's become? So it's no hassle if you want to put a bit more coconut milk or you want to put in a little bit more water. Either way, it would work. Now let me have a taste before you have a taste. And it will be quite temperature hot.
Are you happy with it?
Very. It could do with a bit more time for the sugar. The sugar hasn't come out. I'll just add, I think it might be a touch hot for you, so just put a bit more coconut milk and a bit more hot water or cool boiled water. Just to, there'll probably be more than a cup there I've got. That's a clean spoon for you. You ready for this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kate, you want some? Now just be careful, okay? Because the peanuts are very hot.
Okay. Fire hot, my father would say.
Yes, fire hot. So someone could make up chicken skewers with this and do a dipping.
Oh, beautiful.
Or you could just cut some onion wedges, put it in a wok, put your chicken in, brown it, throw that up, dinner's done. I know people who also use this on fried noodles, making satay noodles out of this. Put some tofu, some prawns, some cuttlefish, and you have a stir-fried satay noodle. So anything is possible. You can put that on pizza. I know my daughter had a gourmet pizza over the weekend. She came back and she said, "Oh, Mom, it was just beautiful." This is a girl who actually doesn't like satay very much, or so she said. But she said what made the difference was they had a bit of, was it sour cream or yogurt? Something like that on top of this gourmet pizza, and she reckons it's the best thing she's ever tasted. So she can't wait to have a go. But satay is just a sauce. So you can turn this into a vegetarian meal, to a noodle, to a stir-fried chicken or skewers. Just make the whole lot, leave it outside, have chicken skewers or lamb or beef or veggie, and let people dip into it. So that's how quick that one was. We'll do the quick. I'm using this pan because I seem to have used a few now. And what we'll do is we'll quickly do, maybe we'll use some coconut oil. It's all the favorite for everyone.
Yeah.
And I will just do a quick stir fry of mushrooms in eggplant cassonde. Eggplant cassonde is a pickle, and our chutneys and pickles are pretty much concentrate as well, and so a little goes a long way.
So here comes the mushrooms.
Yeah, you could use any kind. This is just button.
Fresh looking mushrooms.
Yes, button mushrooms. You could use brown mushrooms, and you could use field mushrooms or a mixture. So we'll just put that in. So you just want to saute that till it comes good.
So what's the plans now for Latasha's kitchen? What's the future going to hold, do you think?
Well, I'm enjoying the process. I'm coming into my third year, and I've learned so much, from the first year to the third year. The first year I started with 6 products, and then I really enjoyed that, and I did another couple, and I got 9, and then I got 15, and somewhere along the way I've got 31, and now I've got 35, and I'm looking always to explore. I'm really thinking of making, now that I've been here about 25 years, I think. Stopped counting a long time ago. So it's either 24 or 25. I'm looking to actually look at combining, flavors of indigenous fruit and spices and
Okay.
making into, a chutney, with outback flavors like that. So I'm exploring that, but I'm always looking out for other chutneys that I might come across that I think would have a particular liking in Asia. They like, from my products, I can see that the things they like are not necessarily things that are, too creamy. They like, their products with a punch. So vindaloo is popular. Our home-style seafood is very popular because Singapore likes fish head curries. So that's good. Home-style curry is good. Madras is nice and hot. And I can see that those are the products that I need to look at when I'm developing interest from overseas. And in terms of our chutneys, we've noticed that all our relishes are very popular, but the more sour and hotter they are, as well as some sweetness coming from the natural ingredients, that can be popular too. So I'm exploring products, that would take that into account. So something like rhubarb and passion fruit, chutneys, passion fruit in chili, salsas, things like that. I'm exploring. I'm always in my test kitchen here, playing around with flavors in the kitchen, with talking on the phone, my kitchen over there. And I've looked at other things like a cucumber pickle as well. It's not a pickle like an Indian pickle, but it's a relish for seafood. So seafood platters. So as I start playing around, I sometimes look at my jars and I think, oh, it'd be great to have a cucumber relish that I could put with oysters, and I could put it with my apple cider. So I'm playing around, and I guess that's my future, is in creating this brand that I have developed out of nothing into something that I could continue enjoying for many years to come. And to that extent, I really hope that I can continue being a small batch producer, but be a small batch producer effectively and create different products for different markets.
So you don't sort of look at the market and go, what do they want? You just think about what you like to play with and see if that suits the market. Is that the approach?
There is a bit of two, there is about what they want. A lot of customers, the cucumber one was from a customer. She gave me a lovely compliment and she said, I buy this cucumber relish from Marks and Spencer's, and she said, I buy 2 carton loads from Singapore. Every time, I place an order, I order 2 cartons. Have you had it? And I said, no, I haven't. And she said, well, nobody makes it here. I've gone around looking, and I think if anyone can make a good cucumber relish, it'll be you, because she tasted some of our beetroot and our chimichurri, and she really liked it, and she thought that I could. So she inspired me to look into that, to developing that. And likewise with the rhubarb, I saw on TV, I think it was on Landline, and I watched this rhubarb producer. He used to throw all his offcuts, and it was, the supermarkets were wanting pretty rhubarb, so all those that didn't make the grade was tossed out. But I think his family moved here from somewhere in South Africa, I think, and they looked at adding value to all these offcuts. So the minute I saw that, I thought, right, those offcuts, that would make a wonderful chutney for me. I could mix that with cinnamon, and I started playing around. So it was looking at the opportunities as well as what's in the market, what are people discarding, what can be turned to food, what can be turned into interesting food, interesting concepts. All that motivates me. I talk it over with my husband, I talk it over with my friends. Sometimes I mention it at events, at farmers markets, I mention it to our customers and find out what they think. So there's a lot of, collaboration with
Yeah.
it. I talk about it with other food producers as well that I might know. That's the eggplant cassonde. I'm just going to put about 2, that much, and give it a quick stir fry. This is going to be great on just toasted bread for a late brunch.
Yeah.
And there's another little ingredient that can go in. It can be either bit of coconut milk or cream, and I'm talking about 1 or 2 tablespoons just to turn that into a sauce. Or you could use yogurt, but I'm actually going to use some cream. So just 1 like that should be enough to just bring that together. And you could throw in some asparagus to this as well to make it more of a full-bodied veggie with greens, or even baby spinach leaves, cherry tomatoes. Put that back there. So there you go. Or you could take that out, have an omelette ready, and put that over and fold it over. So you've got omelette. And you can put in a couple of coriander leaves. For those who are the chili heads watching, they could put in some green chilies or fresh red chili slices. And there you go. I think I see your spoon still there.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a taste?
Absolutely.
So this is what I enjoy. I enjoy creating, giving ideas to our customers. That was just the spices there earlier, so be careful. So that's done. That's a very popular one. We do that quite often in our shows and things like that. How was that?
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Good, good.
But your passion.
Yes.
Your passion, Latasha.
I love it. I'm lucky.
It's inspiring. I wish I had this much passion for cooking. I'm looking at your beautiful smile. You love talking about it. I can't shut you up.
No, I talk too much. So you need to shut me up if I'm talking too much.
It's been inspiring.
Wonderful.
But come here. Thank you so much for talking to us. And I hope you've enjoyed meeting Latasha from Latasha's Kitchen and all her beautiful products. And congratulations on getting into the Asian market, or the world market now, from Australia with your beautiful food products.
Thank
and
you.
we wish you so much happiness and success. It's just inspiring being here in this kitchen with you for the last half an hour. And being able to watch your process and enjoy tasting a little bit of it.
Yes, we could be here all day, couldn't we?
I can't wait to see what's to come. So until next week, speak to you soon. Bye for now.